Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we're going to talk about a pair of the features on the side of the ship that we were only able to see now that we've started painting the above water part of the hull. So for my first time working here, we've brought in a paint float to be painting the side of the ship, and it's allowed us to get up close and personal to the side of the ship in a way that even in dry dock we weren't able to get up this high. So the first feature I wanted to point out is this deck drain right here. Many of the war-built ships just had water collect in the scuppers and then run down the sides of the ship. That's the easy way, that's the expedient way, but it's going to ruin your paint on the side of the ship to have water running down the side. Even if that water isn't deteriorating the side of the ship as it comes down because your system of coatings is in really good shape, it still is probably going to be picking up rust particles and dirt and things from the deck and then depositing that on the side of the ship as it comes down. So on places on our ship and certainly on other ships, you'll see like really bad rust streaks coming out of the deck drains. Here where we happen to have the paint float today, it isn't so much of an issue because the hull is curving out like this. But along the flat side of the ship in particular, we've got a number of places that are like that. It looks kind of grody. And it's not because the ship is deteriorating. The issue is that rust stains from elsewhere is being deposited on the side of the ship. This isn't rusting. It's something up on deck or something else that the water's picked up. So for those gold platers, like the Iowa-class battleships, the Navy's solution to this was to have internal pipes that are carrying all that water. It's more weight, it's more expensive, it's more difficult to do, it's more difficult to maintain, but it's keeping all the water in these pipes inside the ship and then ejecting it outside the ship. It's not just collecting on deck and then running down the side of the ship. So it makes the ship look better, and it means you're spending less crew time painting the side of the ship to make her look good. The problem is, like I was talking about earlier, you can't paint the inside of the pipes. So as this rainwater goes through these pipes, especially 80 years after they were originally built, far longer than they were expected to last, that water is getting a lot of rust from inside the pipes and bringing it out, and on the flat sides of the ship, it's leaving that rust on the hull. The Navy had a solution for that too. Notice how this deck drain has a special fitting welded up around it. That is so that you can bolt a collar onto it. I've seen a couple different types of these. Sometimes the collars are like elbow joints that come out at a 90-degree angle. Sometimes it's more of like a gutter, like your house might have, that just comes out like this. So the water comes out, and instead of running down the side of the ship, it runs out here and then falls off. So it's taking all that rust out. Battleship New Jersey lost hers when she came through the Panama Canal the last time. And so they're not on the ship, and the ship has been stained. The ship just wouldn't fit through the Panama Canal with these projecting out the sides. So they were all either removed or potentially scraped off. So as part of this painting project, we're going to be replacing them. And I'm not entirely sure what method we're going to use at this point, if we're going to bolt the whole collar on, if we're just going to like weld a channel on it to get the water off the side. We're going to do something expedient. It'll be in a similar way to one of the many ways that the Navy does this. And it's going to help make this system of coatings look good and last longer. Another feature I wanted to point out while we're right here, look at this little pad eye down here welded onto the hull. We've got a series of these going down the side of the ship, and we've got several more at the bow. In fact, at the bow, they're stacked about every 6 feet on the way up. These are original features to the ship, and they're here for exactly what we're using them for today. It's to get the paint float tied off to them right up next to the side of the ship so you can paint this area. You don't see that along the flat side of the ship because where the hull is flat, you can tie up on a cleat on deck and just drop it straight down, and the paint float is sucked into the hull. But at the extreme stern, and especially the extreme bow, where the hull flares out, you need these to be able to pull the paint float in. Because if we were just tied off from the railing, the paint float would be 4 or 5 feet from here, and it would be dangerous to try and lean over and paint there. Likewise, if you're lowering guys in bosun's chairs, which is like 2 ropes and a platform that he's sitting on. He's going to want those to grab onto or tie off to, which is part of why they're stacked up the side of the ship. And if we weren't using man lifts like you do nowadays, we were using a traditional scaffolding system, you might want to tie that scaffolding off up there as well, just so that when it's several bucks high, it's not going to be moving around too much. So what do you think? Does it make sense to have the interior plumbing for these gold-plated ships? Or especially on a ship that's supposed to be built to treaty limitations, is that a lot of extra weight and unnecessary stuff? Do you want us to do a video on why modern ships look so rusty compared to World War II era ships? Let us know in the comment section down below. Maybe we'll make that in the future. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State and a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. That support allows us to do major projects like painting the hull that helps us restore the ship in the long term. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to donate to support ongoing restoration work like this one. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about us in the museum. Thanks for watching.